Well, this might no longer be the only Grand Prix in Italy, but it's no less special. It's race day, it's Monza, the temple of speed, it's the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest track in Formula One. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some close action. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Stroll, Russell, Ocon, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Albon, Sargent, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Joe, Tsunoda, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, pull the clutch in, hold it there until the start. Right, feed in the throttle, let's build the revs. Okay, clear. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé after a fantastic race. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Welcome everyone to Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix and home of the Formula One World Championship, where the very first F1 World Championship Grand Prix took place back in 1950. To this present day, it remains a firm favourite amongst fans and drivers alike. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Stroll, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Gasly, Magnussen, Albon, Sargent, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Joe, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today. Let's start by looking at Fernando Alonso.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? One more thing to consider is the strategy element. How far can the drivers push these tyres, and who's going to blink first for fresh rubber? It'll be interesting to see if the leaders have to compromise their plan to cover off the cars behind them.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take the top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
But there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
It was a tough race at times, but they've held on to take a great victory for McLaren today. Welcome to the Magic City. We are here at Miami International Autodrome, the home of the Hard Rock Stadium. It's a multi-purpose sports and entertainment hub which has hosted Super Bowls, Baseball World Series, numerous rock concerts, and now Formula One. With great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long, and expected average speeds of 138 miles per hour, the Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Stroll, Russell, Ocon, Albon, Sargent, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Bottas, Joe, Tsunoda, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here we are then, a phenomenal Miami Grand Prix, and what a great show of skill from our race winners today. And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada for a race many couldn't believe would ever happen. We're on the glitz and the glamour of the famous strip. It is time for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 17 corners, 3 straights and 2 DRS zones. We have taken over the world famous strip, and Formula One is going to have a top speed there of around 210 miles per hour. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Fernando Alonso alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Albon, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Magnussen, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Tsunoda, Joe, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And we welcome Anthony Davidson to the commentary box. Ant, what are you looking forward to most this weekend? Let's talk briefly about Lando Norris.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, this was won through an abundance of speed and skillful overtakes. Inside, outside, cutting underneath, we saw it all today. And it's really nice to see a Grand Prix won in that manner. A race to satisfy the purists today, I think.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. It's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.